Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Codfather. And we're happy to be back. It's been a long time since we were able to do the show, especially with a beautiful audience like this. You know, it's been 2 years and a lot of trying times for everybody, but we're back. We're back and healthy. So we're here. This is Twin Seafood in Concord. You know, we're very pleased to be here. We've done this show a number of times, and people seem to like it, and we enjoy it as well. We love being here. We love having the crowd here. Maybe we'll get a little heckling or something like that, but we enjoy it. This is CJ.
Hi, everybody. How you doing?
CJ is the basically runs the store. I am the owner, but he basically tells me what to do now, so it's all good. So today we're gonna make for you. We're gonna do some homemade crab cakes with some Maryland lump crab, but we're gonna do them a little bit different. We're gonna do them more like a New England style. We're not gonna use any Old Bay or anything like that. We're just gonna go with the crab. It's gonna be 85% crab. We do use a little binder, but we'll show you all of that. Also, we're gonna do a seafood lasagna, which is it's gonna be shrimp, scallops, haddock, and then we use a whole milk regatta cheese that we're gonna put fresh spinach. We're gonna blanch down the spinach a little bit, and we're gonna add that to the regatta cheese, a little bit of grated cheese, and that's it, and some egg, and that's gonna be in there. And then we're going to do a house-made salad. It's going to be lettuce, tomatoes, capers, and grated cheese. It's the salad that we do at the fish store. We're going to be using my mother's homemade recipe for a homemade vinaigrette. And I was mentioning to Mark earlier and to some of the ladies that were here earlier that we're going to dedicate this show to my mom and my dad. If Mark, you can get a nice picture of them. It's right there. My mom passed away in July 5th at the age of 95. But she had a great run. She was a beautiful lady. So we're going to dedicate this show to her. All right? So we're going to get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a white sauce for the lasagna, right? So we're going to do that. You know, it's fairly simple. We're going to do a little bit of heavy cream, half and half. So we're actually going to use both of these.
Cool. Just a little, like we said, right?
Yeah, just a little bit. So for the ladies that are new, I guess we have 6 new members of the club. Welcome. All the ladies that have been here before know that we don't go short on the butter, right? So we like to use butter. We like to use grated cheese. We like to use garlic. You know, my last name ends with an O. I don't know if that says anything about it, but so we're gonna make a little bit of a roux. Don't know if everybody knows what a roux is, but I'm sure you do. Easy. Don't be saying, oh my God, yet. So we're just going to put a little bit of butter, a little more. Don't worry, this butter it's fat-free. And it's dietetic. I know everybody has their, what's it called? You make a New Year's resolution. Yeah, your New Year's resolution, everybody, it's to eat better, this and that. Well, we're going to eat good today. So we just add a little bit of butter. We're going to add a little bit. I like to use, as one of the ladies said, I like to use a coarse sea salt. I think it has more flavor. It doesn't have the iodine in it, but it has more flavor, and it kind of sticks to the food a little bit better. And we're not going to use a lot, though. That's about it. We're going to do some nice fresh pepper. This is just straight black pepper. You want to grind some of that in there, CJ?
Got you, baby.
All right. And then we just let this butter melt down.
That's good. good, right?
Yep. Perfect. Yeah. Perfect. And then we're going to add just a little bit of grated cheese just to kind of thicken it up a little bit. So it's not like making a like an Alfredo sauce, just a little bit of grated cheese. But if I was making an Alfredo, I would be dumping that in there, you know. But we're just going to add a little bit for flavor. That's it.
Butter almost done.
So yeah.
Yeah, this is actually using the induction is a lot of fun over here. It's one of my favorite things about coming over here.
So what do you got in front of you there, CJ?
Over here, we have some spinach. We're going to roughly chop that up. We're going to put that in the regatta. We got some beautiful lemons. We got, some cheese, some fresh garlic. We got some capers. The capers are going to go into salad later. And Joe's adding the flour right now to the roux.
So I basically do everything by touch. It's kind of the way I was taught to cook by my mother.
We don't measure. We just kind of visually.
Kind of don't measure anything, really.
Okay,
so we want a little bit more flour. I make a mess too, so a little bit more flour so that we can we get a little bit thicker here. This here is warming nicely.
How thick do you want it?
I like it so that it's almost like a paste.
Okay.
And the reason to do this is because you want to cook that flavor out of the flour, right? So you don't want to taste flour in here, right? I think I could talk for everybody when I say you'd much rather taste butter than flour, right? Just all-purpose flour. You got to stir it all the time as you go. Otherwise, it's going to burn and you're going to lose the flavor.
Now, how hot are you supposed to keep that pan going?
This is at a medium heat.
Okay.
All right, so I think we're good there. And then all we do is I'm going to shut this off, and then we're just going to add this to the half and half in the cheese and the salt and the pepper. Not all of it, a little bit at a time, because we don't want it too thick. And then we're just going to whisk it in there. And we'll see that this is just going to thicken up nicely. It takes a little bit of time to thicken up, but it's getting there. And like I say, I cook 90% by touch, right? So I may have to make more of that. We'll see what happens. CJ, while we're waiting for this to thicken up a little bit, why don't you start making the dressing?
Gotcha.
Okay.
So the dressing.
So this dressing, go ahead.
As I've learned, Joe's mother, Josie, she showed him how to do it. And we use it in the store. It's pretty much what we use every day, all day. So I've made it a lot. Okay, so we have red wine vinegar. And as you can tell, we measure everything. So I'm just going to dump it. Then we have olive oil. I like to kind of play that one because we'll see how that goes. Let's just touch that out. I'd say maybe ratio 2/3 red wine, 1/3 olive oil. Then we got some parsley right over here.
So that's a dry parsley. You can use fresh parsley, but the dry parsley seems to work a little bit better in a dressing because there's just so much, so much fluid.
So we're just going to shake that out, kind of just there for color too. And then here we have a mix. We have dehydrated onion as well as garlic powder mixed up. And that, just dump the whole thing. That's a good right there. From there, we're just going to mix this up. The big thing you want to know about this dehydrated onion, you want to let it sit a little bit. It's going to soften up, get all that good stuff in there. You just kind of play it out by ratio, so that's it. Let it sit there and serve it when you're going to serve your salad because you don't want it to get soggy.
So one of the things with this dressing is make it in advance, right? Because the parsley, like I say, is dry. The dehydrated onion is hard. So it has to sit. That's why we're doing it early, because it has to sit and all that stuff has to soak in and get nice and moist and flavorful. So you can see that this is thickening up real nice. And I believe I have plenty of roux. I don't think I need any more. So we're just going to let this cook down because we want, like I say, we want to cook down the taste of the flour. We want all those nice flavors to blend in there nicely. I'm going to add a little bit more pepper.
CJ, did you go to culinary school?
I've been with Joe quite some time, about 10 years now. I've known him for about 15, so he hasn't killed me yet, so that's good. That's good.
So CJ and I coached Pop Warner football together. Yeah, CJ showed up one day and he was kind of like, I was coaching his brother, and he's like, "Coach, you think I could coach with you? I got to do a little bit of
I gotta do some things. I gotta do some things over here.
got to do a little bit of community service time."
I was a young man.
He was a young guy.
I was a young man.
So I said, yeah, jump right in. And he coached the line. We won a Eastern Mass championship. We did great. Coached his brother. All right, this smells fantastic.
There you go.
I wish you guys could smell it. But you can see, look how thick that is now. See that? So I'm going to show you a good way to make sure and know that it's thick enough. Let me have a spoon. So what you want to do is you just want to take a spoon and you put it in it. And if it coats the back of the spoon, see how nice it coats that? And you can kind of run your finger and make a line down and it stays there. That's when you know it's thick enough. You don't want it any thicker than that. So we're going to take this off. And then, CJ, wash that pan.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a break for a couple minutes, and we're going to set up for the next portion of the show, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. So, in the first session, we made our bechamel to put together with our lasagna, seafood lasagna. Now we're going to prepare the fish to put in the lasagna itself. So CJ is going to saute. We got some beautiful New Bedford sea scallops, right? These are what are these, CJ?
These
20-30s?
No, these are 10-20s. They're dry scallop, meaning nothing's been brought into it, no soaking, so you're not going to lose much weight, or it's not going to get any smaller while you cook it. So, first things first over here, we're going to saute it.
So CJ knows a lot about the product because CJ is actually the guy that goes into the fish pier. So we're in the fish pier constantly. So we're in the fish pier at least, especially during these times where, we're not positive exactly what's going on. I could have, years ago, I could tell you exactly how much fish we're going to sell on any given day because we've been there for so long. But now things have changed. So we're in the fish pier all the time. And CJ goes in, he picks everything out by hand. You can see he's putting a little bit of butter in there.
Okay, so first things first, we're going to get the butter in there. Once we get it somewhat melty or whatever you want to call it, we're going to add our garlic. We're going to drop the temperature because...
You want to add a little olive oil?
Yeah, olive oil is always good.
Always good.
Always good.
Always good. So anyways, like I was saying, so we go into the fish pier and the fish is actually from the pier into the showcase within a matter of 3 hours. Okay,
Traffic.
as opposed to, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of an advertisement here. So as opposed to like a supermarket, all their fish comes in, it goes to a plant where they distribute to all the other stores. So it will go to the plant, probably stay there a day, get distributed another day, and then it gets into the showcase probably 3 days after they've actually bought it. Ours gets into the showcase 3 hours actually after we've bought it. So it's a big difference.
Depends on traffic on the pike, So, start off with the scallops. Right over here, on your scallop, you have this thing called a mussel. And you want to take that off of any dish you want to do. You don't have to, but it makes your dish better. It's chewy. Nobody likes it. So I'm just going to go through that on all of these.
I'll do those for you, CJ, and then you can get onto the shrimp.
Okay. Here you go, baby. I got a tray for you.
Yeah. So let me give you just a little bit better look at that mussel, right? They call these dry scallops, okay? You can tell that it hasn't been soaked because it's not as opaque or whatever. You can kind of see through it when it's full of water because that's what they do. They soak them in water. But anyway, see this here, this little mussel? That comes off. And the only reason we take that off is because of what CJ said, they get chewy, Okay, CJ, you're up, bub.
Cool. So, now that we got our butter going, we're going to add our garlic. And like I said, we're going to drop the temp because this garlic tends to burn quickly. And what you're trying to do here is get all that garlic flavor actually out into the dish itself. So, that's what I learned. As we do. Well, so, you're going to coat your bottom of your pan with that and then somewhat low to medium heat. So you see the bubbles kick back up, like start boiling again, and just keep it moving. So you want to just get, like I said, get all that flavor and not burn it. If your garlic is turning brown, you're burning it.
What this is called, it's called just sweating the garlic, right? Once it's wet, you don't want to brown it because then it's going to overcook. It's going to be bitter. So you just want to sweat the garlic. He turned the temperature down perfectly, and then he's gonna add the sea scallops. Go ahead.
So Joe actually chopped them in half. It's a great way to stretch your dish. You don't need to put as much. and you just throw them in there. Make sure you leave the mussels out. All right.
All right.
All right. Right in there, kick the teat back up. And then for the shrimp, you can cut them in half, but we're going to keep them whole because it looks better. Just throw them in there. I'm definitely going to have to add some butter because there's so much stuff in there.
CJ, I hate to say this because you know me, but I think you got enough butter in there, brother.
You think so?
I think so.
Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
All right, so while that's going on over here, you see that I have a pan of water here boiling, right? So like I said, we're gonna put some haddock in the lasagna as well, right? So we got some beautiful, nice skinless haddock, right? Nice fillets, and we're just gonna poach it. I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon in here just to give it a little bit of that nice lemon flavor, because you want a little bit of that citrus in there. So CJ already cut up some lemons. We're just going to squeeze a couple of lemons in there just for a little flavor. Also, while that's going, we're going to turn on another burner. This up top burner. CJ, I think you got enough butter.
All right, we'll check it out. We'll see. All right, beautiful. You just want to keep them moving because you got the stuff on the bottom. Also, you can't forget about the garlic, because if you just let it sit, it'll burn out. It won't destroy your dish, but it just doesn't taste the same.
So what we're doing here is we're just going to basically par cook all of this. Okay, we're going to par cook the shrimp, par cook the scallops, par cook the fish, because it is going into the lasagna, and the lasagna is going into the oven, right? So we don't want these to shrink down, get tough. We don't want any of that to happen. So we're just going to par cook this here. You could put it in, you could make a lasagna and put it in raw, but what happens is the fish retains water, the shrimp retains water, the scallops are dry so they don't, but if you put it in your lasagna raw, you're gonna have a lot of water, right? So we like to, right? So we like to take that all out. It's an easier way to go. So CJ, we got this burner on for, you wanna talk about the spinach?
Yeah, so we got our spinach here. I got a little bit of water in our pot, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give a rough chop to it, meaning just break it down a little bit, not that fancy, not that clinical, and we're gonna blanch it just to get the flavor out. Flavor, right?
The water out.
Water out. That's what.
So once again, you know, I know that if you guys take fresh spinach and you cook it on top of the stove, say with just a little bit of oil and garlic or whatever, which is basically what we cook everything with, right? You know that it shrinks down to nothing, right? So that's all that water coming out. So once again, we like to just blanch it off a little bit, get the water out, put it through a strainer, let it dry, and then you'll see that we're gonna mix that right into our ricotta cheese, right? And we're gonna add a little bit of grated cheese, a couple of eggs, and that's it, into the ricotta. The ricotta, my grandmother used to make focaccia bread, and she would take ricotta cheese and just spread it on the focaccia with salt and pepper and a little bit of olive oil. Right? Fantastic. Unbelievable.
All right, how's that looking?
This looks like it's almost done, CJ. Maybe a little bit more on the shrimp. Right?
Yeah.
We'll get that opaqueness out of the shrimp, and then we'll be good to go there.
Okay.
There you go.
The shrimp, you want to get that kind of clear, I think you said opaque. You want to get the color into it, and then you're just going to turn it down and just pull that aside, and you're going to get that ready for later.
Right, so that, take a look at that.
You
could do a nice little walk around with, you can
pan
smell
around.
it.
You want to smell it around? First row gets a little smell around.
You can
There you
smell
go.
it from there.
We got over here.
Hey, Mark, I think we gotta get a fan in the back so we can blow the smell out.
You see that, ladies, over here?
What do you think?
Okay.
Right, so you can see that this fish, see how it just poaches up nicely, right? This is done. We're gonna take this off the heat, and we're gonna strain that, get it out of the water, and then you can see the spinach is starting to wilt a little bit. The spinach is all wilted. It's all reduced down. Right, so all that water, you can see that the water is all in there, and we don't want that in our lasagna. So we're going to take that, we're going to strain that, we're going to strain this, we're going to strain the haddock, and then we're going to put our lasagna together. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes, and we're back. We are now going to start putting together our lasagna. so that we can get it in the oven and we can get all these hungry ladies fed, right? So what we're going to do is we got the bechamel that we made, the white sauce, the whatever you guys want to call it, but it's beautiful. You can see how nice and thick that is, right? So we're going to put a little bit on the bottom of the pan. And then CJ is going to show you a little bit of something different that we like to use. So
you can buy them at your local supermarket. They are lasagna sheets, fully cooked already. You can probably find it in the frozen section, right, Joe?
yeah, I think so.
And yeah, we like to use them. And the good thing, we want to thaw these out first because, like he said, we want to avoid any excess water going into our dish. So that's what we did for you. Then you get a nice sheet.
So we put a nice layer of the, so if you were making a meat lasagna, you would put your, I don't know what you guys call it, sauce, gravy, whatever it is, right? So we go with like 3 sheets on each layer. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 layers.
Okay. Stop
Well,
and
we
shop
buy them
market
from,
basket, yeah.
we buy them from, like I said, Cisco. So I'm just going to use my hands here because that's what I do. I got gloves on. So we're just going to put all this in here. Pat it down nice.
Sure, we save for all the layers, Joe.
Yeah, so we're good there. We're going to add a little bit of grated cheese as we go. So we're going to go 3 more sheets. Now me, I like, some people like it different, but I like the meat or the fish. That's the star of the show here. I like 2 layers of that. The regatta, I love regatta, don't get me wrong, but 1 layer of that is enough. You know, it makes it rich. I like give me the meat, give me the sausage, give me the shrimp, give me the scallops, you know. All right, so there's our next layer. CJ, you want to put a little bit of sauce on there?
Yeah.
All right, so now I got the regatta cheese here. You see the spinach that we had? The spinach is all cooked and we pressed it to get the water all out of there. All right, so we just add that right to our regatta. I have a lot of regatta here, so I have 2 quart containers. So I mix that thoroughly. I add grated cheese to everything. All right?
Everything?
My mother put this on her cereal in the morning. I don't know if I'm joking or not. What do you think?
All right.
She loved it. She loved grated cheese. Couple of eggs, right? So we like to use a couple of eggs as a binder. And you don't need a lot of egg, right? Because you got the cheese, you got the regatta cheese, the grated cheese. But I do like a little bit of egg.
Nice.
So
Nice.
this pepper grinder,
I gotta
it's
spend
getting
some.
old.
I gotta put some time on that pepper grinder.
All right, so now we're gonna spoon a nice little layer of this in here. You're gonna flatten that down for me, CJ?
Yeah. All right.
You got enough there, right?
Yep. Plenty.
All right. So now we're gonna go another sheet of pasta, the pasta sheets, and then I'm gonna give you a little bit of a different flair on this lasagna. And
What?
only he knows. Only because it's a seafood lasagna and not a sauce and meat lasagna, but only because it's a seafood lasagna.
How heavy you think this is?
I don't know. We're probably cooking, I don't know. That's got to be at least 12 to 14 pounds. It's a lot lighter than us, I can tell you that.
Yeah. We just started New Year's, so we're on our New Year's diet
We're
right
on
now.
our New Year's diet. But I don't know, man. I'm looking over there at the sweets, and that's like my downfall over there.
All right.
We have the rest of our fish in there. Now, normally on a regular lasagna, right, you would put another sheet on here, and then some sauce, and some mozzarella cheese, and all of that, right? I'm going to do something different. So I got crushed Ritz crackers here. Okay? Crushed Ritz, right? We're going to put some of that in there. I have all the butter and the juice from the scallops and the shrimp. Okay? That's all right here. Right? We're going to put that in there. And a little bit of fresh mozz. Not a lot.
A
right?
pinch. A
Because
pinch, ladies.
as good Italians know, not supposed to use fish and cheese together. That's what they say. I don't live by that rule, but it is what they say, right? So I'm going to add just a little bit more Ritz because we want this to be more of like a dry consistency, right? Because we're going to just basically use it as a crumble on the top, like an apple crisp or something like that, right? So now, instead of putting that extra layer of pasta on there, not that it's going to be any lighter or anything, okay? But we're going to use this. And we're going to just spread this out nice. Ritz crackers is the best. So we're going to press that, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Then I'm going to just do this a little bit. Because for me, it's never done, right? And that's what we got. Woo! That looks nice, right? All right, so we're going to take another break for a minute. Then we're going to come back. We're going to make the crab cakes. We're going to cook everything off. This is going in the oven right now. This is a lot of food, so this has to go in for at least 45 minutes. All right, so CJ, we're going to make crab cakes, right? So we have some jumbo lump crab meat. It's from Maryland. So this is the blue crab, right? This is from the back fin, but it's jumbo lump. So it's not, you know, those little tiny pieces. These are nice big pieces. You're going to be able to really taste them in the crab cake.
I always say it looks like a pearl onion. You know?
Is that what you say?
Yeah.
Wow.
First time I saw it, I said that's a pearl onion.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put the crab meat in. I like to use mayonnaise.
Now, why are you using mayonnaise? What's that service?
So I'm going to use mayonnaise as a binder. Extra heavy. You can really taste the eggs in here. Okay. So this is an extra heavy mayonnaise, but it's great for a binder. I don't use Old Bay seasoning only because I don't particularly like Old Bay seasoning. Now you can add that to this if you choose. No problem. I consider this more of a New England style crab cake. I also do not use breadcrumb. I use panko. Okay, so panko is a Japanese breadcrumb, right? It's a little bit crispier. I think it's a nicer texture in a crab cake, and it's not as overwhelming as breadcrumbs are. Okay, you really get the crab, you taste the crab. So again, this is panko. And again, I cook to touch, so I'll start mixing this, and then I'll figure out
Sprinkle it in?
if I'm okay or not. We use a little bit of dry parsley,
Just for color, right?
just for color, a little bit of flavor.
There you go. How's that?
Perfect. And then I put 1 egg. Now, this is very important, right? So you need to beat the egg before you put it in. All right, because if you're trying to get this egg all broken down and everything while you're in here, you're breaking up the crab meat. Right? So all that crab meat's going to turn to mush. Right? So we're going to beat this up a little bit. And with the mayonnaise, you don't need a lot of egg. But I do, again, you know, I put it in the regatta, I put it in here. I just think it's better. I think it makes it bind a little bit better. So again, we're just we're gonna lightly just kind of fold all this in, right? Because you want the chunks, and you want this to be all crab meat, right? I need a little bit more panko.
Now, do you want that more like dry or juicy when you're mixing it up?
No, dry. You want it dry. You want a consistency of like a stuffing kind of.
Okay.
But as long as you can form them, you know, they're fine, right? So I just take them.
That looks good in a sandwich right there, just like
Sandwich.
that. Yeah.
And everything's cooked in here, right? Except the egg. So I'll just form them like that. You can either do them on a convection bake if you have that available in your oven, or just a very, you know, maybe like a 400 degree oven. You can bake them. Of course, I like to pan fry them, so you get that nice crisp, right? I pan fry them in butter, and then just do them so they get that nice crisp on either side, and then I'll put them in the oven for a couple of minutes. So I'm going to just form these up, and we'll cook these up. And you don't need these really big, right? I mean, you know, they're kind of like, especially today, they're an appetizer. So, I mean, if you were making these for a meal, I would probably get maybe 6 crab cakes out of this for a meal. But look at them. I mean, you can see they're all crabby, you know. CJ's gonna show you. We're gonna make a sauce for the crab cakes. It's similar to a remoulade.
How you say that? Remoulade? Remoulade?
Remoulade. I say it the way I want to. You say it the way you want to.
So, pretty much kind of do our thing over here. We just take our tartar sauce, which you can purchase at the store. Come on by. All right.
So what's in that tartar sauce again?
Tartar sauce, we use the heavy-duty mayo, dehydrated onion, and can I say the last one?
I don't know.
All right. Well, most people use a what should we call
Sweet
it?
relish.
A sweet relish. We use a dill relish for our tartar sauce because it's just very different. Come on by, like I said. All right. So.
Sell the tartar sauce?
Yep.
Yeah.
We make it in the store. Gallons of it. A lot of it.
A lot of it.
A lot of it. You always got people asking, "Can I get extra tartar?" That's just another batch I got to make later.
So let me ask you a question. Any of you guys ever been to like Kelly's roast beef? Yeah. All right. So Kelly's roast beef. So I grew up in Somerville, in Kelly's, you know, in Revere on the beach, whatever. We've been up there. We went up there quite a bit. And Kelly's roast beef was the first place that I ever tasted tartar sauce made with dill relish. So they make it with dill relish. Everywhere else I've ever had it, they use the sweet relish, and it's just not for me. I don't like it. So I kind of, when we first opened, my sister and my brother and myself, we kind of put our heads together, try to figure out what we're going to do different with our tartar sauce. So we added a lot of different things: garlic, salt, this, that, everything else. But we were still using sweet relish. So, you know, we figured out that Kelly's used the dill relish, and we just added a little dehydrated onion, and it's delicious. Delicious.
So then, once we add our tartar, we're going to add some cocktail sauce, and our cocktail sauce is made with ketchup, horseradish, vinegar, and salt and pepper. That's pretty much it.
That's it.
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty good consistency right there.
Yeah.
So I just went 1-to-1 ratio. Actually, no, I have some extra. I can't. I cut fish. I don't add. But that's good right there. You want to just
Yeah.
like
So
that.
that is, you know, you go into a restaurant in Louisiana or whatever, and you get a crab cake. They're going to give you a remoulade sauce with that. Remoulade is a bunch of different things, and it's just kind of a pain in the neck to cook, to make, because you got to have a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this. So we decided we're just going to add our homemade cocktail sauce, our homemade tartar sauce, put it together. Basta, that's the end of it.
Call it a day.
We call it a day. So these are the crab cakes. Those are done. We're gonna fry those off, and then we're gonna put them in the oven to finish. This is the crab cake sauce, and we're gonna take a break. When we went to break, we were putting together the crab cakes. We started sautéing them. Very simple. We're just sautéing them in a little bit of I'm gonna tell you, we're using vegetable oil, even though everybody says you can't use vegetable oil anymore. My daughter, who's a nurse, Alex, she screamed at me bloody murder because I was using vegetable oil to just saute some veggies, you know. But anyways, that's huh?
Why can't we use it?
They say it's bad for you,
Who said? Butter's bad.
right?
Everything's bad.
But you can't use olive oil in here, right? Because olive oil burns. You know, olive oil is going to burn to make these crab cakes. So we're not going to do that. So anyways, you can see those are the crab cakes, right? They come out beautiful. They got a nice golden brown on them. We are going to take these and throw them in the oven for a minute. But they're beautiful. They're ready to eat. Everything's cooked inside. You know, they're a nice size for anybody that has a normal appetite. For CJ and I, that's enough for the two of us. Maybe. So that's done. Now, CJ's cutting up some tomatoes. I'm going to help him out real quick. We're going to put the salad together real quick with the dressing, my mother's homemade vinaigrette, which is delicious. Josie, we love you. Thank you. And we're gonna put the salad together. Then, as you can see, we got the bechamel on the stove, just warming up. So if anybody wants a little extra when they take their lasagna, it's all good, right? Then we're gonna bring everything out, and we're gonna We're gonna display it out here, and then everybody's gonna eat. I'm sorry, ladies. I know we went a little bit longer than we usually do, but the company is so good that we just don't want to leave. It's amazing here. It's just amazing. So I have a friend of mine who's in the TV business, and he was supposed to come here today, and do like a little commentating. He was going to go through the crowd, get some people to talk. He had to work. I don't know. It's just not right? Anyways, maybe next time he'll come and be able to show up. Good guy, coach football with him. It'd be a lot of fun, either way. But we have fun. So
Cool.
Let's put the salad together, CJ.
All right.
Let's get going on it. You got enough tomato now?
Last one. That's it.
Right. So real quick, typically we do like a Caesar salad here, but this is the salad that we sell at the fish store. Put it over there.
Yeah, it's too hot. I thought about that. I was like, I don't like it
Yeah,
there.
we don't need to cook the lettuce. So this is the salad that we sell at the fish store. Is everybody okay with us dressing it, or do you want the dressing on the side? Okay, so we'll dress it, right? This is the salad that we have at the fish store. We do just tomatoes. Just saying, one of the ladies was just saying that she hasn't had a good tomato in a long time, and I said that's not going to change today because the tomatoes aren't great, but they're in there. They're good. They have a nice bite. And CJ's going to dress it. Go ahead.
Cool. So we just got some romaine hearts over here. We chopped them up. Just throw the tomatoes in there. Seems like a lot, but it's not because we're going to toss the whole thing.
That's a very large bowl of lettuce.
And like anything, we're just going to make a little bit of mess while we do this.
Just a little bit of mess.
If I may say so, not only are you guys excellent cooks, but you're also very handsome.
Oh,
Thank you.
wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice to hear.
It's always nice to hear.
It's always nice to hear.
You know, ladies, I'm single. Anybody know anybody? Go ahead. Oh, there you go. I'm a young 31. That's all right. All right, so we just throw that in there.
Handsome, successful. Look at him. He's a catch. And a cook. Oh, my God. Get it all.
Okay, so we throw the capers in there. We tossed the tomatoes. This is our cheese. And the cheese, we're just going to sprinkle a little bit in there. Just a little bit.
I'll tell you, I don't know if you guys put Parmesan cheese on your salads, but it's delicious. Because what happens is the dressing, it kind of thickens up the dressing, right? So it sticks to the lettuce even better. It's a texture thing too.
Okay, there.
I like to eat.
Now we have our dressing that we
Give it a little
learned.
stir. Yeah, perfect.
Stir it up.
You may not need all of that, brother.
And I'm just going to sprinkle over the top. That was from earlier, so quick recap. It's the red wine vinegar, the olive oil, dehydrated onion, garlic powder, and did we put salt and pepper in there? I don't remember if we did.
No, we didn't.
And then just like that.
So you can see, show them the dressing, CJ. Right, so you can see, this way. Yeah. So you can see that the dehydrated onion all broke down. See how nice and soft that is in there now? And the dry parsley, same thing, right? It's all broken down, and it made the vinegar and the oil just a little bit thicker, right? So it will hold on to the lettuce. Another reason we use romaine. I think the romaine holds the dressing a little bit better than like iceberg or really anything else, in my opinion. I do like the baby romaine, but
And then that's it. She's ready to go.
and that's it. And then this is heating up nice for the to put over the lasagna, and we're going to go to break again. We're going to put out the food, and everybody's going to eat. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Codfather. So, as you see, We demonstrated how to prepare everything. We have a beautiful seafood lasagna here made with scallops, shrimp, haddock, ricotta cheese, and spinach with a very nice bechamel sauce here. We have some extra just in case somebody needs it, but I don't know, that looks pretty good all by itself. We have some homemade crab cakes made with Maryland lump crab meat, mayonnaise, 1 egg, and a little bit of panko. That there.
Got the remoulade, whatever you want to call it. It's a nice sauce. Yeah, there you go. And our salad we made with Josie's special dressing. And then we got the extra white sauce. If you want to use that on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna end our show with our signature
catchphrase. Yeah.
So we prepared a meal for you that you cannot refuse.
Yeah.
I blew it. All right, let's eat.
Parla più piano e nessuno sentirà. Il nostro amore lo vediamo io e te. Nessuno sa la verità, neppure il cielo che ci guarda da lassù.